Welcome back to Mount Knowledge Hub, where we dive into the most fascinating mysteries of the world. Today, we're exploring the enigma of D.B. Cooper, the man who hijacked a plane, demanded a ransom, and then vanished without a trace. This is America's greatest skyjacking mystery. It all started on November 24, 1971. A man, later known as D.B. Cooper, purchased a one-way ticket on Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 from Portland, Oregon, to Seattle, Washington. He used the name Dan Cooper, but due to a mix-up in media reports, he became famously known as D.B. Cooper. Cooper was described as a middle-aged man, around 40 to 50 years old, 6 feet tall, with an olive complexion, brown eyes, and dark hair. He wore a black suit, a white shirt, a black tie, and sunglasses fitting the appearance of a typical businessman. He boarded the Boeing 727 and took seat 18C, although some reports say 18D or 15D. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. Initially, she thought it was a phone number from a lonely businessman, but when she hesitated, Cooper leaned over and whispered to her, "Flight attendant, miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." The note detailed Cooper's demands: $200, 000 in unmarked $20 bills, for a parachutist to primary and to reserve in a fuel truck waiting in Seattle to refuel the plane. To prove his seriousness, Cooper briefly opened his briefcase, showing Schaffner a glimpse of 8 red cylinders, wires, and a large battery appearing to be a bomb. Captain William A. Scott, the pilot, informed air traffic control and subsequently the FBI. As the plane circled Puget Sound to buy time, airline officials scrambled to meet Cooper's demands. By the time Flight 305 landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport, the ransom money and parachutes were ready. At approximately 5:39 p.m., the Boeing 727 touched down in Seattle. Cooper allowed all 36 passengers to disembark in exchange for the money and parachutes, keeping only the flight crew on board. His demeanor remained calm and polite, and he even paid for his drink of bourbon and soda, leaving behind a tip for the flight attendant. With his ransom in hand and the plane refueled, Cooper outlined his next plan: a flight to Mexico City. He specified the route: southeast towards Mexico, keeping the plane below 10,000 feet and at a speed of no more than 200 knots. Cooper also demanded that the rear exit door remain open and the aft staircase extended. The plane took off once more, headed towards Reno, Nevada, for another refueling stop. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper directed the crew to stay in the cockpit with the door closed. He remained in the passenger cabin, making final preparations. Around 8 p.m., about 30 minutes after takeoff, a warning light in the cockpit indicated that the aft door had been opened. Somewhere over the dense forests of Washington, with rain pouring down and strong winds, D.B. Cooper made his daring escape. Wearing a suit, loafers, and a parachute, he jumped into the dark, cold night, carrying the ransom money in a knapsack. When the plane landed safely in Reno, the crew and FBI agents stormed the cabin. Cooper was gone. The aft staircase was still open, and the money was missing. The FBI immediately launched a manhunt, focusing on the area around the Lewis River in southwestern Washington, where they believed Cooper might have landed. Despite extensive searches by the FBI, state troopers, and military personnel, no trace of Cooper, his parachute, or the ransom money was found. The area was vast, rugged, and covered in dense forests. Conditions made the search nearly impossible, and after weeks of fruitless efforts, authorities were left with more questions than answers. The FBI named the investigation NORJAK, short for Northwest Hijacking, and it quickly became one of the most extensive manhunts in U.S. history. They released a composite sketch of Cooper, based on descriptions from the flight crew and passengers, but no solid leads emerged. Hundreds of suspects were investigated over the years, ranging from ex-military personnel to disgruntled airline employees. Historian, the D.B. Cooper case became an obsession for law enforcement and amateur sleuths alike. Theories abounded. Did Cooper die during the jump, or did he survive and start a new life? Was he a seasoned skydiver or simply lucky? Some speculated he had an accomplice on the ground, while others believed he acted alone. In 1980, a significant breakthrough seemed to surface. An 8-year-old boy, Brian Ingram, found $5, $800 and decaying $20 bills along the banks of the Columbia River, near Vancouver, Washington. The serial numbers matched the ransom money, but the discovery only deepened the mystery. How did the money get there? And why was it found so far from the suspected drop zone? Theories about the money's discovery ranged from the idea that it washed downstream to suggestions that Cooper buried it intentionally. Some even speculated that the money was planted as a distraction. Despite renewed interest, no further clues emerged. Over the years, several individuals have been named as potential suspects. Dwayne Weber, a man who allegedly confessed to his wife on his deathbed that he was D.B. Cooper, was investigated but eventually ruled out. Kenneth Christensen, a former paratrooper and Northwest Airlines employee, fit the profile but lacked conclusive evidence. Even Barbara Dayton, a transgender woman and experienced pilot, was considered, claiming to have pulled off the heist as a man, only to retract her confession later. In 2016, after 45 years of investigation, the FBI officially closed the case, stating that all credible leads had been exhausted. They released all evidence to the public, hoping that someone, somewhere, might have the missing piece to solve the puzzle. But the case of D.B. Cooper remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the history of American crime. The legend of D.B. Cooper lives on, immortalized in books, movies, and even TV shows. His audacious crime, cool demeanor, and mysterious disappearance have captured the imagination of millions. As long as questions remain, the story of D.B. Cooper will continue to intrigue and inspire. So, what do you think happened to D.B. Cooper? Did he survive the jump? Where did he meet his end that fateful night? Could he still be alive today, living under a new identity? Or is the truth buried somewhere in the forests of Washington? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe,